Here we are in the dressing room with our Arabiya news. What have we been up to, guys?
Hold on, I've got to say something before we get started.
Oh, mate.
Southampton.
Yeah.
Have you seen? You haven't seen it, I don't think. I think you might have seen it. So in the hospitality suite, you've got to predict the score. If you get it right, you win a signed shirt.
Yeah.
I think it's a player of your choice.
Okay.
So Armstrong was a choice. So you got a Saints fan in hospitality guess the correct score of 5-0 loss.
What?
So the player,
Wait. What's he doing?
the players had to go up in hospitality and present the shirt.
No way.
They've lost 5-0.
Yeah, that is.
And you've got to go and present the shirt.
That is short straw. That
That is short straw.
His face is a picture.
Oh, mate, I need to see
Do
it.
you remember them? I didn't know they still done them lounges. Do you remember them? Used to go in the lounge. I remember at West Ham used to get the TV, but not the new school TVs, right? If you got man of the match, you got the, remember the box TV?
No, I remember.
The old school ones.
Everyone in Camden had one of these TVs, mate. I was just coming out of Upton Park.
Is that what you won?
Yeah.
You won a TV.
TV, mate. But
That must have been the
big
time. That must have been the times when flat screens were coming back.
No, there was
back
no-
into the fold, didn't it?
there was no flat screens.
Can you imagine being that player though and having to go up and present after
you know what?
5-0 loss?
Yeah,
It's poor from the club. Someone's got to go.
someone's got to protect him.
Yeah,
surely,
yeah,
because,
like, come on, guys.
I'd say, listen, come on, guys.
I felt sorry for him.
But first and foremost, what are you doing in this lounge? And you're saying that we're going to lose 5-0. That's like no faith. You got to be more positive, son.
She was right though.
She was right. She was.
She won, didn't she?
Yeah, she won it. She won it, and she met the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if she wanted to meet him after a 5-0 drumming. He wants to meet.
Oh, it's bad.
He wants to meet a bad loser like that.
Come on, let's move on. Let's get started.
So listen,
Yeah.
when I knew I was going to do this podcast for you guys, I'm not gonna lie, like I was buzzing.
I was buzzing.
Right? This is
Listen, we're friends like off the pitch and away from football anyway. And football don't like lead our friendship. You know what I mean? So we've met each other through football, which is quite. It's quite rare to keep going after.
Yeah.
'Cause I've got loads of mates that I thought I'd be friends with after football, but really and truly, I can't really call them. I didn't want to say it like that. Like,
Yes, mate.
This is very. Like,
I've always liked you.
Listen, I love you. Look, we've built a.
Look how hurt he is.
It's a little bit, innit?
I've always liked. No, I've always
I get what
liked
you mean,
lot,
I get what you mean.
Obviously, but
What did you think? You was being mates with Messi or something?
I thought I had a bit more about myself. You know what I mean? But you lot will do. But look, we've obviously enjoyed each other's companies off the pitch as well, and away from football, and we've got to know each other a little bit more. Obviously, me and you, we've done obviously BT Sport,
Mate.
and that was a journey. That was a journey, and I've known Bridgie like for years. Well, remember was at when we used to be at Chelsea back in the day.
and West Ham.
Yeah, you got loads of stories about me. So this is actually going to be a fun podcast, isn't it?
That'll be good.
Could be anything, geez. Could go very wrong.
Could go anywhere.
Could go anywhere.
But we'll like during this podcast, I really want us to like really show who we are as people and how we are as friends as well. And I think this is a blessing for us and everybody that wants to watch.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, it is true. Like this is why podcasting is the future, innit? Because the great thing about when we worked at BT together was like where it was like the Europa League, the Conference League.
Yeah, Conference League.
We felt we had a bit of license to be like, and it just sort of worked. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember the semi-final? I don't know if you know this. Semi-final West Ham, they just scored 1-0 to go through to the final, first final, and the opposition fans broke onto the pitch and there was a big riot. Right, and then we cut to break.
This is at
Then my man went out there with the fans, trying to
Onto the pitch.
It was already on the pitch, like, but we thought that they were like the families and that.
Yeah.
I just see the buffalo just walking over there like that in a
Alkmaar,
yeah.
Alkmaar.
Buffalo.
Well, I am the buff. You need to know who you're dealing with here. The buff.
These ultras come running on all masked up. They see Carlton in a three-piece suit. They just swerved him like that.
Swerved him, said, "We'll leave him alone. We'll leave him alone." It was like the sea. It was like the sea parting for me, man.
That was
That was a great game. Plus, it was just it was crazy, wasn't it? Like, and then we saw the fans fighting in the crowd. I think Big Marlon was up in there.
Yeah.
Anton Ferdinand and Ginge was up there as well, having a good go with the fans, having a little.
It was just mental, wasn't it?
It was mental, man. But yeah, we've had some good times on the away trips as well. So this is good to be here.
Maybe for the after hours show.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be.
Let's get on to this week's football, shall we?
Yeah,
Hold on.
Oh, God.
What have we been up to this week? What you been up to?
Oh, mate, where have you been? You look like you got a bit of sun. Have you had a bit of sun? Yeah.
Nah, it's just the moisturiser.
Oh, yeah. What skincare products are you using nowadays?
I ain't been up too much. Went to a tank museum. That's about it, mate.
You went to Tate Museum?
Yeah, my kid's into like World War stuff, isn't he?
Is
He
it?
knows
Is
everything.
that what you sent me when he was running around the?
Oh, he's running around. No, he got a new army suit and everything. So he
yeah.
runs around the garden high. And he's got one of them. Is it ghillie suits where they put it on? They look like a bush.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Walking
He's got
around the
one of
garden,
them?
all of a sudden you see a bush moving along. Right, but he's into it all. And he just loves it. You know, you walk around. He goes, "Oh, that's a Challenger 2, or this is a tank." When we captured this tank, it had damage to the back of it. And
That's wicked.
That's wicked.
yeah, he
man.
knows all sorts. So it was
Does he
fun.
play Call of Duty?
Yeah, he does. To be fair,
Yeah.
although he isn't 18 yet, so probably don't. But yeah, no, he's an old soul. So like,
Yeah.
he
I like it,
got
it's
into it from
brilliant.
Poppy Day, and he went round with
Yeah.
all the veterans and that, selling poppies and Waitrose and things like that. So,
I've got loads of time for
He's
that, you
an
know.
old
Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's not a lot of kids that are into that sort of stuff unless it's on the computer.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
you go through. There's like a trench walk through thing. You go, and there's all people obviously taking their time walking through it. Then you have got him doing roly polies, hiding, pretending to throw bombs and stuff. So
I don't think it's the right climate to be doing that at the
it was
moment.
quite funny. No, it's good.
But
You just got back for some Barts, didn't you?
this guy, man, this guy.
It's
Look
the
at
life,
see the
isn't he?
little
Bronzed up.
designer beard. I
Yeah,
love
do you
it.
know what? I had to check myself. I was walking along the beach, and you think you're on holiday. You think, yeah,
I look the part.
I look the part. And then I just caught a little, like it was a little mirror,
Yeah.
and I was just like, nah,
Not having
geez, you've well past your prime, ain't you? Do you know what I mean? Silver beard.
Nah, I'm not having that. I'm
Wrong with
liking
bit
it,
of
man.
silver, There's nothing wrong with a bit of silver.
Yeah.
Hey, I've started to get a little white, little.
No, you ain't.
I have.
You dye yours,
I
definitely.
don't. Not yet. I lost. What my problem? I lost my hair up here, so I got this pigmentation tattoo thing. I was like, and then my missus says, when I got home, I done it. I didn't tell my missus, and she goes, "What have you done?"
Really?
I said, yeah, I didn't tell her.
looks
I just said, I just went and done it because I done it for myself. I said, I'm doing this for myself, baby. Yeah, you don't need.
All right, mate. It looks all right.
It looks all right on TV. I'm not sure about close up.
I'll tell you what I did do.
Go on.
I'll tell you what I did too. I did scuba diving. You ever done that?
Oh gosh,
Mate.
They're not ready
It's
for
quite
Joe
eerie, I
Cole
would've
in
thought.
them seas. They're not ready.
You know what I was thinking? I was there. My daughter wanted to do it, so I was scuba diving. Mate, do you know what freaked me the fuck out?
What?
Seeing a lobster live.
A lobster?
Live and exclusive
No
on the bottom of the
sharks?
ocean. No sharks.
I see, I've seen
But
sharks
no.
and stuff.
Yeah, but the lobster just looked. It just looked wild, like. Do you know what I mean?
Wild.
You know, like. You got to do
They got
sign
no arms.
language.
Have you done
How does
scuba
it
diving
how does it
before?
move?
It looks
Just
like an
like
alien. I've never
Never done it
it.
before.
It looks like an alien.
Snorkeling?
It does look like an
Done snorkeling.
I've done snorkeling, but I've never seen a
stuff-
lobster.
No.
I've seen a little shark snorkeling, but it was different because you're at the bottom of the ocean.
It's live.
I can't eat lobster. Lobster was one of my favourite things to eat. Now I can't eat it.
Why?
I don't know. I couldn't eat it for the rest
I'd
of
have
the
grabbed
holiday.
it. So that's
The instructor went like that.
Go on. Yeah. Did he? Look, what I don't even know, man. Like, I heard you've been surfing as well, mate. This guy's been surfing.
Surfing, yeah.
What the hell?
Surfing, mate.
Listen, that's why I said I had you down for skiing because I know you
Yeah.
guys skiing, both of you. I'm going to join next time.
Well, I can't wait. To see
Surfing.
you. I can't wait to see you.
I don't want to see the buff in the seas, mate.
Do you know
I
what?
don't want to see the buff in the seas. Hey, listen, there would be no waves. They'll just turn the other way.
If a shark would think twice, mate.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
it would
mate,
think
sharks
twice.
ain't coming next to me.
That's too much, man.
That's too much meat there. But yeah, like I need to try this stuff, man. Like,
You gotta listen. We're taking you skiing, 100%.
yeah, I need to ski. I think
You
that's
have
what
to
I
wrap
need
up,
to
innit?
start off with.
You're
I
right
ain't
in
gonna
the
go in
cold?
the seas.
If we go in February, you come.
Yeah.
I've got there's a place in Hemel Hempstead.
Yeah.
I've got the instructor. You do a couple of lessons there. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
reckon my knees hold out?
Well, they ain't as bad as mine, are they?
His knees, but mate.
Oh, you got bad.
Yeah, mine are bad.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
But he
You'll be
jumps.
fine, mate.
He's
But you
like,
still on
Can't
it.
use
though.
that as an excuse.
Yeah, I can't use that kind of. Yeah, I'm coming.
Just follow Joe.
I'm
just
coming.
come. Yeah.
What do you got? What type of slope do you go on? The intermediate slope.
Nah, yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah, mellow.
Mellow. Is that what it's called?
Nah, but I call it mellow. This geezer's like flying.
Oh, he's done.
No,
Yeah, but
no,
you
I'm
know,
not.
he's like
Oh, mate.
you look like into exports,
I'm
isn't
not
you?
that good. You've got some airtime.
There's some footage of my head.
Yeah,
He's
1
got-
centimetre jump.
He's gone to me, just do a jump. And I'm like, this is day 3. And I'm like, oh, all right then.
You were buzzing with it.
And there was
though.
like, I thought I was like Eddie the Eagle, right? When I saw the footage,
You just went like that.
no wonder he's pissing himself. I'm like,
No, you weren't that
had some
high.
distance and
You were
height.
literally about 2 centimeters off the floor.
You got to lift your knees up, geez. You got to lift your knees up. Right, let's get into the subjects, eh?
Right. Let's get into the
topics.
topics. Right. Right. Manchester United, Liverpool.
Oh, mate, I watched the game the other night. Look, for me, like Liverpool, they're like formidable team, isn't they? Like, unbelievable. But there's always that tension between Man United. I don't get it because you've played for Liverpool.
I've played it.
How was it in that? Have you played in that game?
Yeah, I
that fixture.
This game apparently
Yeah.
is the biggest, the most watched game in the world. Obviously, Manchester United and Liverpool,
Two
global
boys.
teams. So it's a funny derby because, you know, they're two different cities, aren't they? You've played in Manchester. And
There's history behind it, isn't there?
do you know what? Yeah, it's a leveler. Like I was talking about earlier, and I was saying, back in the day when Man United were winning games, winning titles, everything was rosy for them. Even when Liverpool were lower than them, the game always seemed to be like level. Do you know what I mean? And I think back in the day when refs, they used to let these derbies go. You always knew in the first 10 minutes, if the ref let go a few tackles, it was a leveler, and then the crowd get involved. It was. Listen, all big games are big games.
That don't happen no more. The levelers,
No.
is it? Like, because like when those type of games, like when it's that big, and there's a lot riding on it, pride, passion, fans with their with the banter and that. That's the main thing. The banter between families and all that sort of stuff. But when there's the game that big, you're expecting it to be a dull game sometimes.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a dull game. It was a
Because you
great.
cut each other out.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to
end to end.
cancel each other. But this game was quite open, I would
Yeah.
say, as in there were goals in it. And
They played a lot better. Man United played a
I
lot
thought
better.
so.
I
They
thought they'd
talk
get
about
battered,
it being
to
a
be honest.
turning
I thought they were going to get battered.
Yeah.
Even Roy Keane said it. He thought it was going to
Yeah.
be leveled out. But it was a great game
It just
to watch.
it always blows my mind though, because you say it's such a big game. Have the players ups their game because it's Liverpool? But that type of conversation blows my mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You
Yeah.
still have to have the same work rate.
Yeah.
That's what
You still want to defend well. You still
Bridgie,
wanna,
that's what you're
like-
getting. That's what you're getting with these.
But that blows my mind how that can happen.
Yeah.
Look,
And I'm like,
I
when they talk about being
I
a
understand
turning
it.
point.
I understand it. So I tell you why. Because listen, West Ham, we always used to turn up
Yeah.
for the big boys. So Chelsea, Arsenal,
Spurs.
Man United, Spurs, those type of games. Man City will always turn up. We'll never actually turn up for Man City. We've got pumped too many times actually. But like we always turn up. There's something about that game
Yeah.
where you're thinking, right, it's on Sky, it's on the cameras.
Yeah.
If I score a goal here, I'm gonna be the boy.
Yeah.
Like, there's an extra 5-10%.
But does that
You know what
come
I mean?
down to the manager though? Because
think
you
it-
think to
yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
the manager has to have you prepared like that every week.
Yeah.
Shouldn't just be for like
But that's
a
why
big game.
That's
It
why
shouldn't be,
Amarim
should
came
it?
on after the game on the interview. He said he's angry because everyone was thinking he'd be buzzing, but it was only 2-2.
Yeah.
But everyone thought, oh well, you didn't get beat, did you? And you done well. You actually played them off the park for sections of the game.
And he was angry.
He came on he was on the
did see his
TV
interview after the game.
Yeah, he was angry. He was like, I'm not happy because this is the level that they're supposed to be playing at week in, week out. And I get it.
do you
Because wouldn't you be they can't just turn up for these type of games and then think it's okay to lose against Southampton. Well, they ain't lost against Southampton, but I'm just giving an example.
He was a bit like that though, Ten Hag, wasn't he? He was very demanding. I don't know if I think Manchester United needs a bit more of a softer touch now. I do. I think Amarin coming in and he's like, he can internally be disappointed that they haven't won the game, but I think the players there, like Bridgie said, I think they're still they're still fragile. Some of them players, you know what I mean? I think they've had a manager, Ten Hag, that's been like demanding, and they didn't respond. Look at Rashford. Look at Anthony.
I think they put faith in the wrong players.
Do you think so?
They throw a lot of money, and I always say this as well. And people always probably talk and say, "Oh, Carl, you don't know what you're talking about," but I believe in it. These players, these current players, are living off the accolades and getting paid the wages that the older generation that actually set the bar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if I was an old Man United legend, and then I see these boys getting loads of dough and not putting the same amount of effort that I used to put in, I'm saying that you're playing off our accolades. We're the ones that won all these trophies. We're the ones that won the Champions League, and you're getting paid because of that. Do you know what I mean? And you're not putting it in. That's why I would get upset, and I'll see sometimes why Roy Keane gets upset, because it's actually coming off the back of his accolades.
Yeah,
you know
also,
what I mean?
Football's always changing. Teams are always going to change. You know what I mean? Man City are at the top now. Like that could change. It can all change. Like, I think older players need to realise it's just, it is changed. Man United aren't the same as what they were. They've got totally different players, different managers. So I know to play for Man United is a massive club. So when they talk about relegation, I can't see it happening. One, because of the quality players they've got, and because of how big the club is.
I
love seeing it. I love seeing Roy and Gary Neville annoyed. I love it. I want Man United to get relegated. Who doesn't? Like,
Here's a quick question.
It's always changing, football.
Right, Leicester winning the league or Manchester United getting relegated?
Relegated all day long.
What would be a bigger story?
Man United relegation.
Yeah, it'd be massive. It'd be huge. It won't happen though. It won't happen.
You know what? I'm not even going to lie to you. Yeah, Man United getting relegated, it might actually do them some good.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
So I tell you why I say that.
Because they win a game.
Because they'll just dominate that. They'll get their confidence back. Yeah, I know probably financially it won't be sound for them, but they probably could afford 1 year down.
Yeah.
It will galvanise the fans again to winning week out, and then they know where they're going afterwards. They're going back up.
Yeah.
Bad season, get relegated, come back up, knowing, okay, I appreciate this. We ain't gonna mess this up again. Yeah. It's just a reset button. It's nothing bad. I don't think there's anything wrong.
That's a big old reset button.
But imagine they don't come back up. They would be messed up.
I bet you there's not one relegation clause in any of them Man United players. None of them players will be thinking that.
It'd be interesting to see what they do in the next few games, because obviously, as it gives the players a bit of confidence, because you both know football can be a confidence thing for everyone.
Yeah.
But they need to do simple things right as well.
Talking about confidence on that Man United, the Man United game in Liverpool, the Maguire miss.
Mate, can I just stop this podcast for a moment there? The way that he synced from topic 1 to topic 2, that is like elite level broadcasting. Mate, I didn't even see it coming.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was the next topic, to be honest.
You've got to merge, man. You've got to merge.
That's the new Trevor McDonald.
Do you know what?
Hey, Trev's a ledge, bro. Like, I love Trev. I'm there with him.
I feel sorry for Maguire a lot of the time. I feel like he gets a lot of stick.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think about how them players, I just think it's really hard. I'm like, what he must go through mentally. You know, the abuse he's had from England fans, everything. That's tough, mate. So I'll take my hat off to him for him to put in some of the performances he has, and not always been great.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player, and I think
he is.
I'd
have loved him at West Ham.
Mentally strong to come through that. That miss, I think, is harsh. And they talk about the offside just before, it would have been offside anyway, but it wasn't a great ball to him. It's bobbled up. Those bobbly ones that aren't always hard to put in the back of that. You've got to concentrate on keeping it down. I just think sometimes,
and he's not a striker, Bridgie. Do you know what I mean?
Bridgie, you're putting that over the bar, aren't you?
No, well, it's on my right foot, so yeah.
I'll put it over the bar. But I would have been more pissed off with Xerxes, because the way I'm looking up, I'm saying, okay, why is Harry Maguire there?
Mate, fair play.
Why is Harry Maguire there? Ain't it what's supposed to be one of the midfielders that's supposed to be on the end of that? I know this probably come from a corner and he's probably not seen it.
Second phase
and everything, but he shouldn't be the one running in the box. Someone should be in front of him running in the box to go and get that.
He's actually got good instincts of where the ball's going to drop, isn't he? Like for a centre half. A bit,
And as a striker, I'd put in the net. Like, I'd get over it because I've done that repetitive times. I'm not sure if I would actually. No, he's looking at me over there. So, are you sure, Coley?
Is that Spielberg over there? Look.
But then, you'd expect a striker that does that week in, week out in training to put that in it. I'm not expecting Maguire to hit that and get over it and get the technique right. So when I saw, again, Roy Keane having a go at him, and then I saw Studge. Studge was actually really good because he protected Maguire. So I'm not actually. It was a bad ball from Xerxes, first place, and then obviously you got Roy Keane saying, "Nah, it's not a bad ball. You expect a bad ball from him. Why should you expect a bad ball
You
from
like
him?
to think you can still
It's not.
deal with the ball coming in, but
I'm not expecting my centre half to be able to have that type of technique.
I don't know. I think, do you know?
I want him to head it
not
into-
easy, but you like to think if you're playing in the Premier League, you could still finish.
Yeah, I
really
get
easy.
it.
Don't get me wrong. But you've watched a lot more football than I have.
Yeah.
So when they talk about Harry Maguire, has he actually been that bad?
No, like
No, I don't think
he's sort of become this
scapegoat.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Bridgie. I think I look at what he's. If Harry Maguire's career finishes now, tomorrow, people look at him and go, look, he's been outstanding for England. The thing with Harry Maguire is a very, very good player. He's just not Rio or JT.
But he's gone for that money. That's why people
Do you know
look
what I mean?
at it and compare them.
And I remember sitting with David Sullivan actually when Harry Maguire was at Hull. I think it was at Hull before Leicester.
Yeah.
And watching him, he looked so he was coming out with the ball, driving forward, and I was like,
decent player.
and I was in the director's box, and I said, you should sign him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not sure, I'm not telling you. And then he went to Leicester.
Yeah.
And then he went
built from there. Yeah.
And then he went to Manchester United, and then he was England. Like,
Should have signed him. Hey, we need to get Coley as director of football, mate.
Listen,
I'm not gonna lie to
telling
you.
you, I'd sort it right out. Let me tell you about that. But Coley, I think, like, I think he's the most harshly treated player.
I think he is.
But if I was, if I know Harry a little, don't know him. I've interviewed him a few times and all that. If I was closer to him, I would be I would want him to go, you know what? Fuck all you lot.
I think
I'm
that's
Harry
probably what he's
Maguire.
done though. To carry on what he's been
Do you know what I
doing.
mean?
And
I'm gonna
Gotta have thick skin.
Yeah.
Got to have thick skin.
Yeah.
Look, we all have to have
That's
thick skins
everything.
anyway, but I think in this generation even more because we're all on social media, and he's getting barrages of abuse every day. He can't do no right.
Your son's trailblazer. He just wants to be a footballer.
Yeah.
Well, how would you tell him to deal with the social media?
Well, he's handling it well because he's on there now, and I can't stop him.
Yeah.
It's part of their life. It's part of the way the outlook on life anyway.
Yeah.
And you've got to be a part of it, or else you're not living, basically. And that's how tough it is for these boys, all the way down to like 13. So when I look at a footballer that's at the pinnacle of his career, and then you've got people out there that just want to give him abuse just because of he is who he is. He's got to now look at that and think, do you know what? If I'm going to let that affect me, which it does affect a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now I look at, we're going to the Rashford scenario. Now Rashford, he's top. I think he's a top player. Could be a top player if he gets his head down. And but I think all of this, having that weight on your shoulders of being a Man United product coming from the youth, is going to affect his psyche. Now he's had a good time, so there's good and there's bad. Yeah. Now the bad is the part where a lot of these players can't handle, and it's a bit of a mental health issue as well. Yeah. Where we've got to kind of take time with some of these lads. Yeah. Now, the abuse that Maguire's sustained for your country. Imagine being booed for your country and you ain't even done nothing. You didn't do a David Beckham when you done, do you know what I mean? David, that was understandable. Well, it's never understandable, but I can understand how he got into that position because they say he let the country down. Yeah. Maguire's never let the country down.
No, never.
He was just he's just a teacher's pet. And it was because of Southgate picking him when he weren't even playing, what gave him the abuse, which I felt was unjust. Because all you are as a player at the end of the day, I can't help you if you like me to pick me.
Ain't it funny? Like you're in a world where we're in a world now where you've got to be kind and you've got to be, do the right thing. But as soon as players step, it feels like players are getting more and more abuse. It was Xerxes the other day.
I think we've always, like everyone's always been able to give abuse. I just think it's because of social media. You just hear of it more. I mean, you get to see it more.
It's magnified.
We were mainly just newspapers or chants from the crowd, but now it'll be constant. You'll get it in the newspaper, but then that carries on into social media, and it can carry on for weeks.
You know what used to hurt me more?
Weeks, then you got memes. There's just all sorts going on, but the mental side of the game is massive. Like I look at it and I think to myself, even when we're playing for England, I look at all them players. I think maybe we underachieved when we were playing. I'm like, do you think many of them players actually struggled mentally? You don't actually know.
No, you don't.
Because it was never really spoken about. I had Glenn Hoddle at Southampton, who was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
In terms of the mental side of the game.
Yeah.
You know, he had me doing visualization techniques. He had like the back four getting together, and we'd have to sit down and say, what do you want from... I'd be sitting with you going, what do you want from me? How can I help you?
Yeah.
In a football club, that was just like... That lads used to just fob it off.
Yeah.
Like,
you love that.
So...
We talked about this before.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, as you felt
it.
like... You know, I was one of them people that I did all the visualization stuff and meditation he got me to do. But then when I went to Chelsea, it kind of fizzled out because it wasn't on a plate for me. But when I look back now, I think, I wish I'd carried it on.
Well, Bridgie, talking on that, when I started to do it, because before I was just going on vibes. When I was playing football, I was just going on pure vibes. I was like, well, I'm just me, man. You know? But then you get to a point when there's a lot of pressure on you, and now you're the main man, and people are expecting you to produce. And I had to go outside of West Ham to go and get that. So I went and used Drogba's person. I was like, who's the best person? Oh, I like to play like Drogba. Let me just go use his man. So this guy used to come in. This guy is called Pascal. He's unbelievable, right? He used to come in. He used to do,
little fella.
He used to do Solomon Kalou. He used to do Malouda.
I don't know. When you talk about that, I didn't know. I kind of knew a little bit that Didier did that, but I don't know if it was out there to everyone in the footballing world that Didier used to see someone on the mental side.
It was just mental. Look,
that's what I mean. But was it out there that he was doing it?
No. So
there have been so many players that I think that are at top of their game that actually did do it, but it's not documented that they did.
No, because it's not documented.
I think if it was more though, more players would do it.
It was,
and they become mentally strong.
Well, this is what this guy used to do.
I don't want to go too far into it, but I think it comes from being young and doing that as well.
Like part of culture.
Schools, because I
think
about the mental side of the games, I try and drill that into my kids of like mistakes it matters, but you're so young, you're like, you don't mean to make a mistake. So you've got to deal with it and crack on. It's how you react afterwards.
Because like with this guy, Pascal, same thing as you're saying, but he used to like sort your body out as well. So it was your body, and he used to come in, we used to watch games back, and he used to help your psyche. And then I used another guy called Dan Abrahams. So I had an extra guy as well. And mate, I done it for a year. I got into the England team, geez. Like, because I was way off track where I was supposed to be. Because remember, I came from the youth all the way to 21s. And then I didn't make the grade to get into you lot. I see you lot having a fledgling career with England. I was thinking, I need to get up there. Like, how can I? But I knew that I wasn't right mentally. So I had to use these people away from my foot. So I invested in myself, basically. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And there's a lot of people out there that do it, but then will take the mick out of you and say, "What are you doing that for?" But they're actually doing it themselves. So this is going on, and that's why you probably didn't hear about it. But you'd see the person, you think, "Who's that guy? That might just be his friend." It's not. It's actually someone that's helping him in his career. So this is why I look at it. Rashford needs something like that.
He needs someone who's experienced it. He's got to accept that information from them as well. Like if someone goes, look,
because he is struggling. We know he's struggling.
He's
struggling, mate,
and not make excuses. Well, I'm in here because of this. I'm in here because that. It's accepting that it's this is me now. I've got to deal with this myself. I haven't done this right. I haven't done that right. I look back at my career and say, I wish I'd maybe done this or maybe done that. Wasn't wise enough or wasn't grown up enough to go, no, do you know what? I'll do this, and this, and make sure everything's right for yourself. Which I don't know what you mean.
I think, like you said, I've went work with someone as well. So we've all worked with someone off our own accord, right? And football wasn't ready for it, like at that time. Because I remember Glenn Roeder got someone in at West Ham, and we was all, when you go in the meeting room and you're like, and we're waiting in, right? And Johnny Monker weren't there, and we're like, I'm like, where's Johnny, right? And I know something's coming now, right? So I'm like, and the guy's got up and he started the presentation, and Johnny just walked in and gone naked, bollock naked, and he said it was the fella's name. Right, what can you sort me out? And just sat there.
He's got to start bollock naked,
balls out, and the geezer's about to do a presentation, and you keep looking at. And I'm like,
supposed to take that serious.
I'm like,
even if you
he's
wanted
straight
to take
away.
it seriously.
I know, like, and the lads are laughing, and you're like,
just killed it off straight away.
You're just like. Do you know what I mean? Football weren't ready for it back then.
Weren't ready for it back then. That's why you have to go into your little caves and just do it alone, and then come back and just be a better player. And that's it. But you couldn't do it as a group.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it as a group.
Yeah, but that's interesting about Rashford. Like I'm with you, Coley. I think there's something mentally that's blocking him because he's such a good. We've seen it.
Yeah,
he's got so much ability, so much.
Seen what he can do, but we're gonna bring it a little bit more back to home now. West Ham, have held talks with Graham Potter. About the manager, Lopetegui is. I said at the start of the season, we've all played for West Ham for various amounts of time. When he signed Lopetegui, I looked at his career actually, and I was like, it's not stellar.
No,
he's managed Spain for 5 minutes. Real Madrid he flopped. There was Sevilla. He done all right. Like there's nothing there. That, like he's got a big name, and Wolves he went in and come out. Yeah. And I thought this is a bit of a gamble. This isn't like you're going to get like a Jose or a Carlo or something like that. He's a big name, but he's not got. I wouldn't say he's got
credentials.
A big credentials.
Would you say Jose and Carlo, would they be able to get? Would West Ham be able to get that? Like, is there a wide choice to choose from?
Jose, I think, was on the top. We had a little talk about Jose, didn't we?
I would take Jose at West Ham all day long.
Would Jose want West Ham?
Would he want something like that?
I don't know what his situation is.
No offense against West Ham at all, but I love the club.
Look, I can't talk on it. Obviously, I'm employed by the club. But when I look at, because for me, I love Lopetegui as a person.
Yeah.
And I want him to do so well.
Yeah, I don't know him as a person, Coley. Like, this is the hard.
Oh, that's the hard part of all of this, right? Because it's not worked out for him. It's the first 6 months in a job. You would love that the club would give him time, but I think for a club like West Ham, especially where we've come from with winning Europa Conference League and then the expectations of what David Moyes have left the club in. He's done well, David Moyes. I know it got a little bit toxic at the end of the relationship between them. But then the next person coming in was always going to find it hard. And I think if you don't have the minerals to understand that it ain't, when it's not going right, the fans are going to get on your back. The players need to understand that they've got to protect the gaffer a little bit as well. So you can't just blame the gaffer in all of this. I think the players have to look at themselves as well. That say, listen, was I the same player I was last season? We could look at all the tactics. Yeah, we could look at everything that you want to look at that's deflected away from yourself. And this is again while we're talking about self-evaluation and doing your bits away to make sure you're at optimum abilities. But when I look at, I think he hasn't been helped by the players. Yeah. And he's had a few injuries as well. I'm not going to blame just the players, but he has had a few injuries as well, which has messed him up a bit.
Have they been that bad though? Obviously, I haven't watched loads, but when I see him at the weekend against City, I think the scoreline flattered City a little bit.
No, it did.
They could have gone 2-0 up, West Ham.
Yeah, defo.
Greater chances.
Yeah. No,
Going forward, fine. Coley.
It's defending. It's the defending part, which is kind of because and Lopetegui's that as well. Yeah, he wants to press high up the pitch. Yeah. I just don't think he's got the players for it. He ain't got the right players to play his style of football. Yeah, and that's a massive hurdle to get over if you don't have the players. It's like the same as Man United at the moment. Yeah. Amarim hasn't got the players that he wants to play with that plays his style of football. He's just fitting, as it goes, the wrong round pegs and square holes. Is that it?
Way round.
I should stay away from that.
Round
I'm trying to be too intelligent.
We can edit that.
But we don't need to edit it. Don't edit it.
Nah, you're right. We're raw.
But yeah, that's what I think is going on at West Ham as well. So technical director has to mirror up with the manager. Then the manager's got to mirror up with the players. And we brought in 9 players.
9 players.
In one season, it's hard.
Steiden, is Lopetegui his guy? Because, like,
yeah.
So he's got to, if it don't work out, he's got to go. You know,
you've got to take the hit. You've got to take the hit.
You know, a little bit like that didn't work. Why didn't that work? I think another thing you didn't mention, the midfield. Like when you look at, I think they get run off far too much.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like for me, like I've looked at it and I was like, oh, this could be a problem here because. Listen, I love Ward-Prowse. Yeah. I think you take him out.
Have you let him out the door?
Yeah, I think myself, and this is just coming from me. I'm not coming from the guy. I just thought that was a mistake. I think if you're gonna sign a player, it's got to be better than him. Yeah, it's got to be better than Ward-Prowse, and I don't think we've got anything that's been signed that I'd say could dictate a game when he's on it.
Yeah.
Like how Ward-Prowse can, because Ward-Prowse, another Southampton graduate. He's one of those players that he could create at least 5 to 10 goals on assist alone. You can't take that out. I just think it's a bit of a gamble if he did do that, and that's what's happened.
Richie, I obviously come through West Ham. Coley played there for a long time. You played for a little bit. What did you think of the club?
We got relegated.
I know, but it wasn't a bad time.
You know what? It's
they were too good to get relegated.
When you're down there in a relegation battle, if you ain't got fight, and when I mean fight, it's running around, it's pressing. You can't run around like headless chicken. You got to go together. You have to go together. You have to have a team spirit of we're not going to get beat. You know.
Yeah.
I know I had it at West Ham. We had Avram who, I like him, but as a manager, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how. But we went out to try and create a bit of team spirit, which was me is like going back in time, because I think that's what you used to when we first started out, when there was a drinking culture in the game.
Yeah.
I was like, you have players around the squad who don't like the manager or aren't playing enough.
Yeah.
And they don't bring anything to the team. Their head's gone. They're already I don't care. And they probably don't care if they go down. They'd be a bit like, oh, great.
Yeah. Serves you right.
It's really bad, but it happens.
It does happen.
And there's players that were there at the time which they had some good quality, but then it was just non-existent in terms of running around and getting stuck in.
We think in recent years, Sam Allardyce has done a good job at West Ham, and David Moyes done a good job at West Ham. Both styles of play, you wouldn't have associated them with West Ham, but that's maybe what the club need, because what problem I think West Ham have from my time there at the first time and your time is they get players like not the top players. The top players want to come to London and play. They're going to go Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, right? And then West Ham have had so many players. I could list thousands of them. I could list tens of them coming in who are just probably thinking, I'll have a year in London, 18 months in London. Do you know what I mean? And
holiday.
Yeah, and you're like, what about the geezers we signed when I was there, the Italian boys who come in January, loving life, great lads, great lads. But they was like,
they lived in one of the swag. I've got his name now. I need to get his name. Borriello and Borelli. I can't remember. But Nocerino. Yes.
Great lads.
Mate, I swear down, Borrello lived over in Hyde Park. No, do you know what's the hotel over there? The Bulgari.
Yeah, mate.
He lived in Bulgaria. I was like, how much wedge are you on, by the way, to live there? Like, mate.
I know.
And I was like, how's he got this?
Yeah, but they was. I feel bad about listing them, but the type of players like who come in for a year, 18 months, West Ham should be signing players like either sign players like Ward-Prowse, established players, or you go and sign young players, and then you set the culture. I would go into set the culture. We're gonna be what Brighton and Brentford are. We're gonna be that, but we're gonna be more because we're West Ham. And you can attract players. You can compete with Spurs.
And we grow players. We grow players.
Yeah. I think that's the best way for the club.
Yeah, and hopefully that's the way we'll be heading.
I still think Josie's the man for the club. I would love to see him there.
I would love to see someone like that, but let's
I find it weird seeing him at West Ham. I just can't see him taking the job. I would love to see it though.
Do you know what? Forget the fact he's been at Chelsea.
Yeah, forget that.
Right? He coming to West Ham would light that place up, light it up.
Oh,
Let me
fans
tell
would
you.
love it.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's
character,
do you know what? I love the club as well. It's a great club. Like even I was only there 6 months. We got relegated. I've been back there. Carlton was the game I went to. They took care of me. Like, and I was thinking, we got relegated, and they still treat you so well. It's a good family club. Fans, when you're doing well, are great.
Yeah.
It's a good club.
But they'll call you out when you're not.
Yeah.
The secret to it is you got to run about.
Yeah.
You got to look like you're trying.
I noticed that in a lot of teams. I don't know if it's just me, and it's because I thought like I had that in me. But even like at Chelsea with you, if you had someone playing in front of you, you'd work hard.
Yeah.
And it's like when I see teams that don't work hard, it blows my mind because the most simple thing to do is just run around and get stuck in.
Yeah.
Like I've got Southampton fans. I know Southampton fans are good friends of mine, and they're just like, no one runs around. No one runs around to get stuck in. And it's like, I've been in meetings before when we're in relegation at Southampton. They're like, where the goal's going to come from or where this. And everyone just looks at Matt Letiz and goes, you, hopefully. But I'm like, it's like, we always worked hard.
Yeah.
And I thought we always had that. And
Bond,
I look at teams, I think they don't even have that. No one's going to.
Well, this Southampton team don't.
That's like United did, didn't they? Really, at the weekend they got stuck in.
What about this Southampton team? You watched them quite a lot because I was there the other day, and I thought they played well with this new manager. Was it Juric?
Yeah.
I thought he played well, and I can see where he wants to go, but I just think it's a hard task for them to come out of that. They're going to have to basically rely on everybody to lose games for them to even catch up and get the points they need. It's impossible.
It blows my mind when you see it in even the bigger teams, like Trent, for one of the goals when Roy battered him.
You didn't like that, did you? We talk about it in the car.
It's not that I didn't like it. I'm surprised what I was seeing.
Mate,
like he walked,
I heard that you wanted to call him up and put him in a headlock.
No, I like Trent as a player. No, don't get me wrong. I love Trent as a player, but it wasn't just him. There's two players behind him that were walking.
Yeah.
Like, so you got a centre back, and as a fullback, you're like, he should be talking to you, whether it's go on, Bridgie, get tight, or show him down here, or do that. He walked. The player next to him walked.
Yeah, there's no reaction.
The other defender is that. Even if you're the centre back and like he's gone past Trent, you're closing quickly. Yeah. You're getting there quick.
Yeah.
They all just walked. The only person who ran was Salah. He was 5 yards up the pitch, who sprinted back to try and nick the ball. Yeah. He was the only person that moved with any urgency. Yeah.
That's why he's asking for that much dough.
So when he
deserves it, mate. He's doing defending as well.
But don't get me wrong, Trent. Don't get me wrong. He didn't have the best game defensively at all. Yeah. You can say that.
He ain't Tranmere Rovers level,
but
is he?
There was all the other players. No, 100% not. It was he. There was other players around him doing the same. You know, there was defensive bits where the ball was just going over the top and Man United just running onto it. It happens all over the league, which blows my mind.
As a defender, like you can obviously the game's changed from when we played. It's changed. Everyone goes for Trent. Look at Trent as a fullback. He's so talented. You know what I mean? But when we were playing, I felt there was more. It's more defensive. There's more goals now than there was in our day. That's factual.
Is that just defending?
Trent's a midfielder. He's a midfielder.
Yeah.
Trent's
a player.
He's a player. He's a player, but he's more focused on going forward. Yeah, obviously, he wants to bring in passes. He wants an assist. He wants goals.
If he had certain players around him or a certain manager,
protect him.
Not even protect him, but just maybe
help him think.
Just help him think. Like you switched on more.
Yeah, on the transition.
If you got a centre back, like I remember going like, I don't know, say I had Dean Richards at Southampton and Desai, like constantly talking to you. You're always on your toes. But I thought you're always on your. When I was at Chelsea, I thought you were always on your toes, but you kept each other on their toes.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone ever really. I remember one time Lamps shouted to me, "Come on, Bridgie!" Like it was the only one time, and I thought. Just switch me on. That was all it was.
Actually remembered it.
Lamps weren't a talker, was he?
No.
Lamps weren't a talker.
You went, Bridgie, come on. And it's just like, it just switched you on that little bit.
Especially when it's coming from him as well, because he's got that power, Frank. Because he don't talk that much.
Yeah, I know.
So when he does, it's like, okay, this is important. This part.
I just noticed that in that game.
He talked to me. Pass the ball.
I just noticed it with Trent. There was no talking going on.
Yeah, but that's culturally. Coley's working with a youth team. When I done my badges years ago, and I was working with West Ham and Chelsea, doing one of my topics was a back four session. I had to, talk through, and I'm doing it, and I'm being assessed, and it's really quiet at the training ground. You hear everything, and they're not talking. Then I'm nudging the coach. I can't remember who it was. I'm saying, why are they not talking? Like they're messing up my session. Do you know what I mean? But he said, no, that's the way there is because of the phones. They've all grown up with the phones. He said they go into the dressing room after training and they all pick up. They're all guilty of it, and we pick up your phone and they do that. Yeah,
but we've got the times when we
we didn't have the phones,
so we can do both.
Yeah,
it's better when there's no phones. Really.
Yeah, it was.
I sound really old now.
Yeah, it was.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
Do you remember putting Bill Blood in the trolleys?
Mate.
What was we doing? Like there was
it was
Tesco trolley.
It was so unsafe though.
It was
safeguarding was out the window. Like there was no safeguarding when we were around.
None of it was really that bad.
No, but just to make you like.
No, but we used to have a lot of banter back then, man. Like
putting a snowman in people's cars. What for?
There's just no need. The worst thing they do nowadays is maybe put your windscreen wipers up, and that's it. That's their banter now. But we used to do a lot more. But look. We're talking about like Trent. people don't talk on the pitch, right? And I think that's a lot that's going on in the game. Everyone talks with their movement nowadays. I think it's more of a movement.
And it's more structured.
So if the ball's here, then that's a trigger for me to be here and do that movement. So that's a lot more. So that's why they don't really speak. Plus, yes, the fact that these kids now, like I see my son, all he's got, I just call him phone face now. He's just like that. So he's got no communication skills. But what he does, what they do, these kids, they play Call of Duty, they play all these FIFA, they play FIFA. They talk more on that than anywhere else. When they're face to face, they don't talk. They feel more comfortable talking, playing over the line. And I'm thinking, mate, you just with him. Why are you talking to him again?
Yeah, I know.
Like, what are you doing? It's like, oh yeah, you don't get it, Dad. All right, cool. I'm just dumb then, innit? But yeah, that's what's going on, and that's it's happening on the pitch as well. And most of these players are going home. They're not even talking to each other.
When you hear a talker, Connor Cody, I remember watching.
Oh, he's a
he
talker.
come through at Liverpool as a young kid, and
yeah.
he was something different about him. When I think I played in the game he made his debut, and Connor's had a great. No, we were playing together.
Oh, you
right? So he come through at Liverpool. I was there. I wouldn't say I was playing.
He was about.
But like, you know, like he stood out like a sore thumb because he's a talker, great personality. He's had a great career, and he's
done well.
You know, Liverpool, Leicester, Wolves.
Yeah, he's done well.
You know, so there is my advice to all of our kids who play. Be a talker.
Yeah.
Jamie Carragher was a talker. Didn't stop talking in the game.
Yeah.
You know
that
what I mean?
comes from a confidence building.
Yeah.
I think once they get going, I think like even
Yeah.
my son, he's up at Hull City now. I'm telling him to do the same thing because you're a defender. You can see the game. Do you know what? You should talk more because the game's in front of you and you want to be protected.
No, you say to be a talker. Everyone should be a talker.
Yeah, I know.
I think it always should be.
If you've got a mouth and you can make noise,
Use it.
It's got to be. It's got
Power
to be
the tongue.
constantly during the game, though, isn't it? Like if you're playing in front of me, Joe, cut this off or do that. It's
Because
just
it's part of defending.
helping
Yeah.
each
It's
other.
actually part of defending because I want you to protect me.
Do you-
So what if the ball's over there and I'm saying, yo, Bridgie, get across. And you do get across, then my work's done because I don't need to run. I don't want to run.
Yeah. Do you know what? I remember a game you might have played. You probably played in it. West Ham, Southampton, at Upton Park. We won 3-0. It was the end of the season, and it was like we were going to get sucked into a relegation battle, right? So Harry Redknapp went back into a 4-4-2, and he put me and Stuart Pearce was playing behind me, right? And Pearcey was like getting old at the time, and he was like, right. And he taught me through the game, right? And it was that 90 minutes there was such an education for me. Honestly, like
Because he just showed you where you're supposed to be.
and he was getting the benefit because I could run all day.
Yeah.
You're 18, 19, and
He was just
moving
using
me
you
around.
like a computer game,
Yeah.
bruv. He was a
was
control
like-
pad out
It was
like
an
that.
education. I learned more in that 90 minutes than probably a year's worth of coaching.
That's
You know?
wicked.
Yeah,
That's what it's about, man.
Right, let's get on now. Right, let's talk about transfers.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to talk Evan Ferguson, Brighton centre forward.
Yeah. I've watched him.
Young, you like him?
I think he's a top player. Obviously, I'm a striker.
Yeah.
And I see him.
What does he do
I saw him
well,
a couple of years. He holds the ball up well. His movement's unbelievable. Flicks around the corner, bringing others into play, and he's a finisher.
Yeah.
Fox. He can be a fox in the box as well.
Yeah.
Tall, strong.
Yeah.
Can head it. So for me, Ferguson is one of those players where he's got all the attributes to be a top centre forward. I don't know what's happened this season, but what I've seen, I know you can build on. He's got the attributes. Don't know what's happened this season. I don't know why he's not, but you got Welbeck probably in front of him. João Pedro's a good player. Sometimes he plays up front as well. I know he's been playing off the left sometimes, but he's though they've got different options. Plus they've got a young manager as well.
Yeah.
The young manager, he probably knows what he wants for how his team plays. Maybe it just doesn't suit his style.
Yeah.
And I look at it, I think anyone that wants to go and get him will have a...
What's the
and that's it.
likelihood of West Ham outbidding Arsenal?
Well, that's the.
It depends on
Who
what the
wants
boy
him?
wants. It's on what the boy
Is he going to
wants.
play?
He'll play at West Ham.
Listen, but you might. Let's see. If I'm his agent, I'm saying to him, go to West Ham. You're not getting into the Brighton team. Are you going to take a step up and play? You need games. You're a young kid. You need games. Come and play for West Ham. Hasn't worked for Fulkrug yet.
No.
Go there.
He's younger.
Yeah.
He's got miles. He hasn't got no miles on him. So you look at everything. I think I would take it myself, but I'm not in control at West Ham, obviously. So, but I think he could be a great player for the club, and especially when you got like people like Arsenal sniffing around. You know, there's a player in there, and they know they can get the best out of him. So, kudos to him. Hopefully, he does and does make the right choice for his career because I think he's a brilliant player in there somewhere. But let's talk about Welbeck over there. He's got a new lease of life. What's going on?
Man like Welbs.
What's Welbeck? Like, I'm thinking, do you know
He's
what?
one of my favourite players, you know.
Mate, he's such a lovely guy as well.
Yeah,
He's gone there and done well.
He's done brilliant. I think everything suits him over there because
Yeah.
now he wasn't even the main man before. He's built himself up to get back into the shop window. And
That's what I don't
big
think
injury,
people
Bridgie.
realise with transfers, though, is it's never easy just to go to a club
Yeah.
and settle in. Things have to fall in place.
yeah, everything else around
I mean,
it. Yeah.
it's, you're going from a team where if it's not working out for you, or for instance, when I went to Chelsea, it was great, the players I was playing with. When I went to City, oh my God, it's like playing a different game.
Yeah.
Because everyone plays differently. He might have just gone to Brighton and it's
Yeah.
the way they played have just suited him.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, it's hard. There's loads of stuff that comes into transfers. People going abroad.
Yeah.
There's so much that comes into, like,
And
it's
so
hard
it
to hit the
depends how
ground.
you
It's hard to hit the ground running.
It depends how
It's hard
adaptable you are.
Yeah.
You got to be adaptable. Like, got to be on the half turn most of the time. Do you know what I mean? You got to be able to take it on the back foot, Bridgie. Do you know what I mean? Like, just take it down on the chest sometimes under pressure.
I like to think I can do that.
Yeah. But there's a lot of stiff people out there, bro. Their touch is baggy. Like, they're just not getting it. Like, that's why I couldn't move too many places. I went to Indonesia. That was a culture shock. Imagine me out there. Yeah. So I get why some players don't settle in, because I didn't settle in over there, I'll tell you that for free.
What was that like?
Oh, mate. Look, for me,
Get your disclaimers in first.
no. The country is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Indonesia's, you've ever been to Bali?
No.
Yeah, you need to go out.
Yeah, okay.
Barrington Levy. But when I look at it, I think, do you know what? I wasn't mentally prepared to go out there. I just went over there because Michael Essien asked me to come out there. He says, Coley, he phoned me, he goes, Coley, they need a striker. Are you ready? I says, always ready. That's what the conversation was. I said, how much they paying?
Was he playing out there?
He was playing in the same team as me. And I was like, so I've gone out there, I'm thinking, all right, get off the plane. And I wanted to see if they were serious first, right? So what I done, I said, listen, if I ain't coming if it ain't first class tickets, I ain't coming.
Yeah.
Mate, they got first class tickets. I said, oh, I'm trying to call their bluff. What the hell? It was like 10 grand for the ticket for me to get over there and back. I'm like, so what? You actually want me? All right, cool. So I went, I was like, damn, I'm a bit obligated to sign now. So I've gone over there because they got me a first class ticket.
You signed for the fact that you
I was like, wow, yeah, because I was thinking,
what was he in flight meal? That must be.
Oh, mate, it was unbelievable. Bro, I had my own room in the plane, bro. I had my own room on the plane. I was like there at the TV. I was just like, this is the life. So, the stage was set.
How long did you last there?
6 months.
Did they get you an economy flight back?
Yeah. Mate, I had to get a bus back. They had to ship it back. I got shipped. I got put in a crater. A crate. But listen, man, like, I would advise anybody that ain't done anything outside the box to try it, man.
Yeah.
That's why I want to come skiing with you, lot.
Yeah.
Because that's not my field.
You're
The
coming
Buffalo
up in
one,
a
the
free-
Buffalo and Ice ain't one, bro.
4 weeks you'll be on there on crutches like that. You took him down the black slope.
We've gone from Ferguson to Arsenal West Ham to Carlton in Indonesia.
Mate, are there any black people out and we'll just go skiing anyway?
I see.
Yeah,
many
there is.
Mate,
Loads.
I didn't see many
Loads.
black people in Indonesia. I'll tell you that for sure.
When we went to the Kasabian concert the other day, we were leaving out, right?
Mate, that was funny.
He made me laugh. We were at the Kasabian concert, we were having a great night, and there's another black geezer, and he's got to him, my brother.
That's how I thought I was the only one. Because listen, you're not expecting the brothers to be in Kasabian. No, they're not buying tickets, are they? Although they might like the song, but they ain't gonna put a proper fork out and go and buy £100 ticket to go Kasabian. Not really. Don't see many of us. And if they are, they're proper solid fans.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the lookout next time I go.
Mate, automatically, when you're in a place full of white people and there's no brothers in there, you automatically look for brothers. It's just It's just a factory setting. It's nothing racist, nothing.
Yeah.
I need to see my kind. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And then so when I saw this geezer, I was like, cool, blimey. I was quite disappointed because I didn't want to see a brother in there. I wanted to be the only one.
You made an impact.
I made an impact. Oh, mate, I was in there.
We had a great night.
Man. We went mosh pit and everything, man.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I loved it.
Have we gone Indonesia mosh pit?
Yeah. So, but no, Indonesia. Going back to what I was saying, Indonesia it was a great experience. It's just the experience at the football club. I played for a club called Persib Bandung. The fans. Do you know they've got like hooliganism out there?
Really,
mate? A couple of fans died in the crowds whilst we were playing. And I was like, this is actually going on over here. They're football fanatics.
Yeah.
Fans are unbelievable. They still follow me like on social media. They always wishing me well. But I just had a bad experience because the way the club was managed over there, over there it's different. You've got tiers to it.
Right.
So you got the local manager.
Yeah.
And you got the people that own the club. The people that own the club had shares in Inter Milan. And do you know what I mean? So
really?
they're big boys.
Okay.
But those are the ones that brought me over. Now they said to the local manager, who's the technical director, basically, that's what they call him, that told the manager, don't play him. Because he's not our signing. We didn't want him. Why is he?
I hate all that politics.
So then I'm out there, I've only played 5 games. I'm like, I brought even because I was getting homesick, I brought my family out because of the holidays. And that kind of cheered me up, but it was so bad and it treated me bad as well. And I kind of half think that it just messed up my whole experience.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to come back ever. Because I'd love to go back there, but I just got muscle memory. I just shudder. So there was times I was just low. So that's what we talk about mental health. Sometimes I was just in my room with no friends to talk to. I was just on my phone and not spending that time alone and only having training to look forward to just to get fit. And you're not playing on the weekend. You might not even be travelling. Like it's hard. It's horrible. So I always have a little bit of a soft spot for players that do come to a new land and has to hit the floor running. And it's not easy. It ain't easy at all.
Do you know? Go on, Bridgie.
I was just going to say, like the transfers of Trent and Salah at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like it's
strange, isn't it?
Like 2 unbelievable players.
How's it got to
that?
How's it got to their last year?
I say you never really know the full story. There's a story you told me once about you and Roman having a chat.
Yeah.
And like, I was listening to the Jamie Carragher and Daniel Sturridge chat about Trent and Jamie saying how it should be handled and all this.
Yeah.
But we literally do not know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if Trent really wants to go. I don't know.
No, you
don't really know if he really wants to go. You don't know if he's had a chat with a manager. You don't know if he's had a chat with the owners. Like, you literally don't know because it should really be quite simple. Like when you sat down,
you want to stay
with Roman.
Yeah.
Like the way you said he spoke to you, like it was like you're staying and
I didn't have no choice.
And you're happy. He's quite persuasive, Roman.
Yeah.
But like with Trent, it's like, well,
Roman wanted to send me to Russia.
We don't.
Imagine me in Russia.
Right out there.
Imagine me in Russia, mate. Would he? Buff in Russia. Nah, I'm not having that. Anyway, go on.
Would he? Why do they not?
Want to get me out of London, bruv? Imagine me and you in Russia. What are we doing with ourselves?
I had a good night in Russia.
Have you? I've never been.
It's like, what is going on there? Why is it should just be sorted? Like he wants to go. Okay. Well, what's the decision? Rather than.
Do you think, Bridgie, it's like clearly like you've got 3 of the best players in the world: Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk in their positions, right? All on massive money.
Yeah.
Do you think it looks to me, I don't know, I want to know what you think, it's a club decision because of their wages. They're like, we can't keep all of these on this money because of financial fair play. And they're almost like the club, it's almost like a game, I think it's a game of poker where the club are going, we want you to say you want to leave first because if you're trying to build a football team and money's no object, you sign all 3 of them. It must be a balancing act. What do you think?
Yeah, I get the only thing that springs to mind when you say that is the Ashley Cole scenario of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Where it was like, he told he was going to get this and never, and felt, probably from what I know, he felt a little bit like, I will sod you then, I'm going to go. You don't rate me highly enough. You you don't consider me good enough to keep. You don't value me enough.
And the difference in the
Trent
money
might
wasn't.
think he's not valued.
The difference, and the Ashley Cole one, the difference in the money wasn't massive. It was like 10 grand, I think.
Yeah. So it's probably, does he feel valued enough? The club aren't valuing enough.
Yeah.
But then is it just a game of who's going to come out the bad egg here?
And that's the thing. So
Is it going to be Trent, or is it going to be the club and the way they dealt with it?
So with the Trent situation to Madrid, you've got, out of the 3 players, maybe they can only keep 2 because of the financial fair play. Maybe they're looking at that and thinking, well, we can only offer you this, and to keep, we want you, but we.
So you,
and coming from the youth, you know how it is coming from the youth.
Yeah.
They're expecting you to take what's given to you.
Yeah.
When you come from the youth, they don't actually acknowledge. Okay, well, he's as big as Salah. He's as big as Van Dijk.
Yeah.
So
He
you're
should
saying
be,
that
because he should be
keeps
put
one
on
or
the
other,
Gerrard
though?
level.
Is that what
Really,
you're
because
saying?
of what he's won.
You're saying they only keep maybe one of them.
I just think
Salah,
I just think he's expendable.
and then Trent goes, or maybe Trent stays and Salah goes, or they
out
both
of the
go.
out of the 3 players, I think he's the most expendable that they'll say let him go. You know what I
think
mean?
so?
I think he is, and I'm not saying
Salah
that in
is
a bad
different,
way.
maybe,
I think
yeah.
Salah, they lose Salah. That's half their goals gone.
Yeah.
They lose Van Dijk. That's loads of goals going in.
Yeah.
Trent's the one. Look how early he came off the other day.
Yeah. That's a
do you
fair
know what I
point.
mean?
That's a
Like,
fair point.
There's obviously links with Salah going to the Saudi League. You don't think that happens?
Well, he's.
That's why I think they need to get rid of Trent first, and then agree, say we'll pay you what you want. But
Go on.
see, with that, I think when I look at it, I think Salah's in his. He's supposed to do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's supposed to ask for what is parity that he's worth to the club.
Yeah.
Because for them to go and get that kind of money to buy and replace him, that's going to cost an arm and a leg. Just pay the guy 20 million.
Yeah. I don't think they can replace him.
They can't replace him.
In his position in the world, I still think he's the best playing coming off that right. Is there anyone else?
Coming off the right, no.
No, there's no one coming
Saka.
off Saka, but Saka's
not that level.
can't get Saka.
If he does go, I just can't see it because of how good he is.
Yeah.
If it does, it's like, what have you done to let him go?
If he goes to the Saudi League, it's a massive coup. It's a massive coup for the Saudi League, and also, I think he's obviously his religion as well. You know, that region of the world. It makes a difference. Everything fits for him to go there.
Fits.
You know,
would you say? I'd say if he's gone, Liverpool would have had to have done everything. If he's gone, they have to go be able to say we did everything we did
to try and keep him.
Well,
Well, they'll have to. There'll be questions asked.
everything we could to try and keep him, basically.
But one thing I just don't understand is what is exactly what I'm saying again. Why has it taken this long? Your 3 best players, you're now on the last, and it probably is a little bit of Klopp leaving. So Klopp had to leave, and they was dealing with that. Who do we get in? So they was really on the Arne Slot thing. So we need to replace him. But Arne Slot has actually done more than expected.
Yeah.
On his first season. Now you're thinking, you can't get rid of your 3 best players now. Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit of a conundrum.
I go back to when I was playing, we don't actually know everything that's gone on, because I reckon there's agents out there that sometimes just make it happen.
Yeah.
Like,
that's right. You're right.
what are they saying to the player as the player gone into any of the meetings? Because agents can make it happen, can't they?
Yeah, they can.
They go and speak
relationships,
to you.
right?
You don't actually really know what's being said. Someone with relationships of age. Like, I had an agent before, and it's like I don't even know what was said between them.
Yeah.
Like, it got
But
done.
I know there's been things where they're trying to make things happen, and
I moved the chairs.
like, you just don't know everything, do you? Really?
That's the problem, mate. And they're in this. There's good agents and there's bad agents, and they're a necessary evil. Another big signing, or another potential is Rashford to AC Milan. I think Marcus needs to leave Manchester United.
He's already asked for a move.
He's asked for a move, but I think he needs. Do you know what I mean, Coley? He needs to leave, and I think AC Milan, they play with Rafa Leao off the left. Well, I think Marcus Rashford is a more accomplished player if his head's on it. You know, and that would suggest to me that Leao's probably moving.
The pace of that game as well. The pace of the game will suit him. Because you go look at it, McTominay, he set the world alight over there. At Napoli, and I'm thinking, hold on a minute.
Wasn't that a play? Didn't David Moyes really want?
Yeah, I would have loved him. I would have loved him there. Every player we've mentioned, I'd love to. But like Look, Tominay is definitely one of those players that I didn't see that coming, that he'd go and set the world alight over there. He
I
scored.
don't know, he's always been a good player.
I like it.
I don't know. Listen, disclaimer, I don't know how he's doing now, but I know the first half of the season he's done really well.
He's been good, Coley. He's been very good.
And now when you look at Rashford going over to that league as well, I think it might suit him.
Yeah.
Bit of sun as well.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up to sun every day. When I went to America.
Yeah.
It just changes you as a person. Like, you're waking up, you're looking, because remember, we're repetitive creatures. Like we need everything done a certain way. But over here, all we've had sometimes when it's gloomy you're feeling gloomy, you're looking up into the sky, you don't see the sun, you go into training, you don't feel grateful. And
that's why I need you in my life, Geez, especially in these winter months. I need to see your face.
You need to see the teeth, bro. Yeah. It brightens up your day. But then you go over to, say, Italy, or you go to, there's a little Spain, Portugal. It's sun, different climate, different people, learning a different language. It just opens up the world to you a little bit, and it's a different challenge.
A few teams that want him though,
yeah,
because he's got a lot of ability. But it wouldn't. I think you look at him from the outside and you think someone has to get. You know, I don't know all the ins and outs, but my first opinion would be someone needs to just get his head right.
Yeah,
whether that's a manager thinking I can deal with that, but I think the equality he's got. I think there should be a few teams looking for him.
I think he's got a lot to give, man. He's got a lot to give still. What is he, 27?
27. He's a baby still.
He's a baby, man.
He should have his best years ahead of him.
And that's what you're buying, and that's what you're getting. But the wages might be a factor because he's on big money.
If he's listening to this, listen, he probably won't be. Do you know what I mean?
Well, his people will be.
Well, listen, I would say, you know, the people who've advised him to. You know when he done that fantastic thing where the free school meals, I really admire, and I'll always admire him for that, and I always have his back for that because I think
changed the government's position. On it.
He took a lot on there.
Yeah,
he took a lot on because all of a sudden, that's a massive thing he done. He changed the government's position on free school meals for kids, and he done that off his own back. And I think at that point, his people around him should have really gone, listen. You've done your bit now. Let's just keep focusing on your football.
Nothing else.
You know, but I think Manchester United were throwing him forward. He was the poster boy. England as well. He was a story. Everyone's talking about him. And I think the people around him, if they're listening, his next move needs to be a move of calm and peace for him. You know, wherever
that is. Hold on a minute. That is
the level.
That's dinner.
Wow.
Dinner.
Wow, man was in full flow, bro.
Yeah. Beautiful.
He was in full flow. I don't know if he's going to get them sort of lyrics back.
Nah, I don't even know what I was talking about.
What are you on about?
I was going to say, he won't even remember what he was talking about.
Nah. It's been a long...
That's a red...
It's been a long few days scuba diving.
I'm glad he sent himself out. We didn't have to tell him. There's
another one we haven't talked about, and that is Son. Barcelona.
Yeah.
Rumour. Like, I don't know, but they're saying, can it change the league's landscape?
I'll tell you what, it will change Spurs' landscape.
Thanks for coming, Tel.
Oh, thanks, Tel.
I knew you was here for something,
so that's not happening, so it's a no-go, innit?
Yeah, unlucky Barca.
Look at Spill.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, Barcelona. Let's talk about Barca.
Mm.
I don't watch the Premier League, let alone watch the Liga.
No, I'm not saying about Barca anyway, as a cultural perspective. Who wouldn't want to go and play for Barca?
Yeah, man, that was my team, Geese.
That
was my dream.
Listen, no disrespect to Spurs, yeah?
Yeah.
If they...
Did what you're saying, but
did Son have any...
I probably wouldn't.
You wouldn't want to go Barca?
I think the language would do... I can't speak English properly, let alone learn another language. I actually think if you go to another country, you have to learn the language.
Invest in the language, yeah.
And I was
not learning Indonesian, was I?
Oh, yeah. That's probably why you lasted 6 months. Do you know what I mean? I think you've got to go and learn the language. You might look at me and go, come on, bitch, it's Barcelona. I'm like, mate, I don't know. I think I'd struggle. It's hard enough going Southampton to Chelsea.
Did you ever
have a different language from there to there as well?
Did you ever have any sniffs of going abroad?
Valencia was a sniff.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it actually scared me a little bit.
Did it?
Not I wouldn't be scared. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like watching Walking Dead or anything. Like, whoa. I've just been watching it recently. But it's just like, it ain't that easy. Just go, yeah, I'm going to go. It sounds great.
Yeah.
But I think the language barrier, being able to speak it, like always blew my mind. Like Al Maka at Chelsea came over.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I think he speaks better English. He did retiring than he did while he was
he
playing.
did,
It was
definitely.
man on.
Yeah.
Brigitte.
Yeah.
Time.
He-
It was like it's.
Mate, I get it.
It's hard,
Tevez came to West Ham, right? And Mascherano. We had to learn Spanish. I was like, hold on a minute, they come to our country. Let them learn what we're doing.
I think that goes to show you how good them two were, though.
I know.
It shows you how good them two were, that they couldn't really speak.
And they
Like,
still
things they did what
produced.
they did.
Yeah.
I think it's tough.
when I
Imagine if I hear a Spanish voice behind me,
Yeah,
I don't know what's
yeah.
going on.
Imagine.
It's hard. That's what
we
I
had
say,
Del
you keep
Horno.
him-
Remember Del Horno?
Oh, mate.
He had no clue. He had no, mate. I remember. Yeah, Ireland. Well, that's another show.
Yeah, that's another.
But he's but he was
All
was
left
wild.
back,
Never-
mental.
we took him to the Arctic Monkeys concert. Remember?
Yeah, you lot took him to Arctic Monkeys. And Sean went with you.
Right, yeah,
He went as well. I was gonna come, but I couldn't. I
You
said,
missed
Arctic
it.
Monkeys. I ain't
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah.
Now you
But
know
now
that.
I would.
Now you know.
Now I would.
Now
I
you
would.
know.
But like, see, like Del Horno, he never spoke a word of English, but you understood him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
understood you.
yeah.
Like you just go, yeah, huh? Good, gracias. And then, and that was it. That was me done.
He looked. I wonder what he's doing now. He looked like he was enjoying life. in
He was
London, wasn't
enjoying life, mate.
He was enjoying
I
life.
remember him walking. We went to a nightclub out in central London, and then I think he lived like somewhere in. Was it? Where did he live? He lived a little bit deeper, probably like Chiswick or something like that.
Yeah.
And I caught him, because obviously I had the driver, and I was like, I see this guy walking, through Earls Court. So I was like, is this guy actually gonna walk home after a nightclub? I'm like, this guy's got he's powerful. So I got my cousin to stop the car. I go, you want a lift? He goes, no, Collie, walk, think it. I was like, he wanted to walk all the way home. I was like, all right, fair enough, do what you think. Weird guy, man, but
He was a madman.
He's a madman. He loved the drink, didn't he?
He did.
Anyway.
Right. Everton. Right. Listen, this is a different to Barcelona and AC Milan. Sean Dyche at Everton.
Yeah.
The owners apparently assessing Sean Dyche's future. I mean,
That's out of order.
I messaged a good mate.
How dare they?
wait, get this out.
I'm gonna say I messaged a good mate of
Carl.
ours. Right, he's a massive Everton fan.
I mean,
Is it?
he's a really good friend. We all know him.
Yeah.
You didn't know he's a big Everton fan.
I didn't know.
so
I didn't know.
I dropped him a little message to ask his input on Everton at the moment, and this is what I got. I might have to edit it down if it's
Yeah,
going
that's
to
good.
get played,
Go on,
but this
go on.
We
is-
need to get the fans involved in the show.
That's all I've been watching for the last, don't know, 2 seasons maybe. Like, it's just been absolute dross, but we can't score. It's like we play our football in the first half of the pitch, like, and then we just lump it up to Calvert-Lewin, who's like a little dog, like in a park, just running around with the ball, and not like Alan Ball, where he'd get the ball and then he'd sort of give it a Charlton, in the England way, and he's just passing back. Not like that. He'd just run around, and then he'd hold it, and there's nothing there. So why are we doing that? Like, I don't understand, like. And then my little nephew, bless him, over Christmas, like, he's only 10, 11, right? And he's like, oh, Uncle Carl, is this what it's like being an Everton fan? I go, this is exactly what it's like to be an Everton fan, Rich. So, you just get used to it, because, this is all we got, bud, to be honest. So, yeah, absolute dross, no creativity, can't score. I mean, it's mental. Like, you told me the other day, right? You were like, oh, when I said about players going, they play after training, right? So in my head, I'm thinking, it's 8 p.m. Do you know what I mean? After, say, people have to work, finish at 5, do some extra sessions, like, and I'm like, oh, fair play, back in the house by 9 p.m, like. No, you were like, oh, we finish at 12, but, oh, fucking hell. I tell you what, if the boys are finishing at 12, I'll keep them on the training pitch for about another 9 hours, like. I just go, right, there's this goal. How are we going to get there, like? How are we going to score there? Let's start with that. I'll even put it on a picture and go, right, what is this, boys? And then they'll all be in there going, oh, manager, it's a goal. Like, well, let's go on it. Do you know what I mean? Mental. And then they sit there in press conference. He goes, oh, it's a difficult job with Everton, like. It's very difficult. Like, so many managers have been in goal. I know. But who gives a... Do you know what I mean? I don't want to hear it, like. Just do your job, like. You've turned us into Burnley. So, as far as I'm concerned, see you later. See you later, Sean. Do you know what I mean? Oh, well done keeping us up, like. Crack up. Yeah, great. But this is my mental health on the line, mate, like. Do you know what I mean? I've broken strides, like, and now I'm sort of jumping, looking on tracks, like. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I gotta go.
He's gone too far.
But see you later. Speak later. Sorry about that.
Right. So that's the average. That's the average Everton fan.
That's the average a Saints fan as well, I think.
Oh,
Do you know
what I mean?
That is like a football fan, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we come in talking as ex-players. It's good to get that.
Yeah.
He actually messaged me, right, yesterday. Happy New Year, Joe. Blah, blah, blah. I'm about to go and play football. He sent me a picture of his casserole we'd made. He said, I've had this 30 minutes ago. Am I going to be all right? I went, no. Have a banana or something.
I'm about to chill out, man. When you go
He actually replied to me straight away going, all I can compare it Everton to is a Sunday roast. And all I've got is some veg. That's how he compared it. So I'm just, it ain't good, is it?
We get
you can
Carlton.
see how frustrating it is for fans, you know what I mean? It's like, because people live and breathe it, don't they? They go to work to pay to go and watch football, and then they have to watch a load of rubbish.
Year in, year out, though, for them. Like, they understand. They've been bought now, haven't they? They've got new owners. Stadium. They've got a new stadium. So the things are looking all right, but it's just the brand of football now is what they kind of try and probably fix up.
It's just not easy to turn around.
No.
You know, look at Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're doing better. But over the last few years, like chuck money at it and everything, it's not easy.
It's nearly 10 years since they won the league.
I think
10 years.
Nearly 10 years. 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
do you know what I think, though? I think with Everton's scenario, I just think that it's going to take time. It's not just a magic wand. Next season, they're going to be flying the heights and qualifying for Europe. I think they need to keep stability there to start off with all the changes going around it as well. You just need something stern there. If you're coming in for the next couple of years at 14th, 15th, that's enough. Until then you say, do you know what? Let's go again. Let's put some money in. And by that time, you're gradually changing the mentality of the team.
Yeah.
I understand where the fans are going, though, because Sean Dyche, if you do want to do that, is not the future. Now, if you want a new brand of football, you've got to find someone that can do a little bit of what Sean Dyche is, like consolidate their Premier League status, and then but have someone that knows how to play a brand of football that looks a little bit attacking. Right now, it sounds that they're getting into positions, they're lumping up to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's got about 5 people on his back. He's got to try and turn and score. He's got to try and do it all. It's a little bit hard for someone like that. And especially, I'm actually impressed that Calvert-Lewin's still fit. Yeah. Because he's not
massively, didn't he?
He's done really well to stay fit now. So now let's see what he can produce. But if you're not playing to his ability and what he could, because he's actually got ability, the kid. If you're not playing to his strengths, then it's going to be hard. And I don't know whether Sean Dyche is going to be that man for the transition of what they actually need. And I think they're just going to have to find, it's up to their technical director. This is what the technical director
His future could be short, couldn't it?
It could be. And the thing about it, with Sean Dyche, he knows what he's doing. I like Sean.
Yeah, I like him.
As a person. I think he's top. He's got time, education. Yeah. He done something for the FA when I was doing my education with the FA. Come online, done the Zoom, and he was he gave us everything. He poured into us. And that's what I like him for. But I can see why people don't like his brand of football, because it's just getting the job done, innit?
Yeah.
Getting it over the line.
Staying up.
It's
just staying up.
It'd be interesting because Big Sam was like that. And I know Big Sam used to get really agitated, like when the media used to talk about his style of football.
Yeah.
And Sean Dyche is probably cut from the same club. And I respect both of them for what they are. But like, you can't the way football's going, you have to play a certain type of way. If you're gonna be a top 8 manager, you cannot play in that style of football. Do you know what I mean? And Big Sam will probably and Sean Dyche will say, well, I've never had a club which is capable of fighting for the Champions League. But I think for owners will look at their managers and go, I just can't bring that brand of football here. But,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
so
not-
that,
it's
so
not
you
the
also
time
have
for
to
it.
show. But then on the flip side of it, Coley,
It works.
Russell Martin at Southampton, it was
didn't work.
completely the opposite. You know, and then that didn't work. So
But he didn't have the players for it.
Yeah.
He's like with the Russell Martin thing. I look at it and I like Russell. I think he's
Yeah, I like him.
top gaffer. I think he's the future.
Yeah.
He's going to have a great future in the game because of his brand of football. But
I agree.
his brand of football weren't creating results. Now, as an owner, you look at it, you think, okay, this is the way we want to play, but does he qualify for that? See, like, do you know what messed up a lot of football, I would say, is Manchester City. It starts with Man City, winning that brand of football.
Yeah.
Full striker, whatever, and playing out from the back, makes it look sexy, go win the league with it. You know that then it sets the trend.
Is that a manager taking his time
It
to
sets
get
the
to
trend.
where he wants to be, though? He's got to get the basics.
Yeah.
Basics right first, and then building it.
Well, the
rather than
basics,
go
what is the
from there to
basics,
there
Bridget?
straight away,
Basics
though.
should always be, for me, defending. For me, it should always be. But now it's defending without the ball, having the possession. The longer you've got possession of the ball, that's defending to these managers nowadays because you're actually got the ball. You're not going to lose the ball, and you're going to score a goal. Or if you lose the ball, you press up high.
Yeah.
But now that's how football's gone. Now, when we look at the Samuel Allardyces of this world, you look at the Sean Dyches of this world. You look at it, you think, there's still room for that?
Yeah.
There is still room for it, but it's not sexy enough no more for the fans because the fans are seeing their other team that they look at and they think, well, we were like that a few years ago. We're on the same level as them, but they're playing a better brand of football than us now, and they're staying up in the same way. So what are we doing here? Yeah. That's what happened with David Moyes as well.
There's
That's
a
what
ceiling.
happened with David Moyes.
There's a ceiling to that brand of football, and I'd sit down with them and I'd have that debate. You know, respectfully, I think there's a ceiling to that. When you have a brand of football, what Russell Martin was trying to play, and what Brighton are trying to do, you know, I think there's the ceiling's high. Yeah, but I think
and your scouting network's got to be better.
but the ceiling's higher.
Yeah,
because no team wins a league. No team wins a league with that type of football. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Atletico Madrid might have nicked a league a few times, but they had absolute outstanding footballers.
Yeah.
But I think that type of football is
yeah. Well, look at Ipswich. Ipswich they're doing all right. But then you look at we'll go back to last season. Burnley was playing like that with Vincent Company. They get relegated. He goes to Bayern Munich. So to someone like Russell Martin, he's thinking, I ain't changing. I'm keeping to my principles.
Yeah.
Because if you don't like it, someone else is gonna like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was a massive. But he hasn't got the Vincent Company name, so he might not get that kind of stature of club. So it's a hard call.
So before we finish, right, last one. If you was manager of Southampton now, how would you approach the end of the season and the next season? Consider probably gonna go down because would you completely change the style of play?
I just think that you've got to block out all the noise outside the club.
Yeah.
First and foremost this is how we're going to defend.
Yeah.
And it's the work rate of work rate. You've got to be able to match whoever's in front of you.
Yeah.
And I think when I was at Southampton after Hoddle, because we were playing brilliant with Hoddle, when Strachan come in, we were probably one of the fittest in the Premier League. We had games where we would get battered.
Yeah.
But we always worked our socks off, and we could end up beating, I don't know, Liverpool by 1 or 2-0 or it was always you got to make it tough for the opposition. It might not be that pretty, but you just got to make it tough. You have to match what that team does, and if not, outwork them. What I'd love to see at the weekend with Newcastle was the work rate they had.
Good presses.
The work rate in
Good
midfield.
Unbelievable.
They pressed. They worked their socks off back.
Joe is unbelievable, by the way.
Some of the games I've watched, and I'm like seeing people you can see that they're literally jogging or nearly going into a walk. And I'm thinking,
come on.
mate, if you sprint now,
and then get
you
there
might
and
actually
then
get that ball.
Yeah.
It's too much of that seeing, and the manager needs to get on people's cases,
that
and the
comes
players
from the
need
manager.
to demand from each other.
The manager and the
need
culture.
to be demanding of each other.
Yeah.
Like work. If someone ain't putting their weight, you get on them.
And you got 5 substitutions now, by the way. So the game's changed. The game's more athletic because you can whip 3 players off at 60 minutes. 3 fresh players come to the pitch.
Yeah.
Look, even at West Ham, sometimes I know like he's got the sack and everything, and hasn't gone great. But there was times they pressed City, and it wasn't actually.
Who's got the sack?
Yeah, he got the sack. Yeah,
He got the sack.
It was like
He took training this morning.
There was some of the Man City's pressing. It wasn't great, mate. They weren't together. And then West Ham were getting in behind them and breaking, and it's like some of West Ham pressing. It wasn't bad. That's why the score flattered City a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's just. They've got to have that work rate of pressing, and that's what shocked me with some of the Liverpool. Yeah. It was just like it's how they don't do. Some teams don't do them simple things right. I think crazy.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You go straight in and you go from now to the end of the season. Behind the scenes, if I'm at Southampton, I know this is really off piece. We're not even supposed to be talking Southampton, but I would go in and go right from now January till May. We're working off the ball, and we're going to get our results from that. And in the background, you're sort of almost preparing for the championship, and and if you stay up, it's a bonus.
I don't think that.
We're talking about, but Everton need a lot of teams need it. When
I just don't. Do you know what?
I watch some of the games these days.
Going off the back of what you said, I just don't think most of these teams, the ones that are struggling, they might not be fit enough. Because to run about, you've got to had a good pre-season. Forget about the results in pre-season. I never go off results in pre-season. I don't care. I want to make sure that the team that I'm going to put out is the fittest in the league.
I think
if you look at the stats of most of these teams that are getting pummeled every week, they're probably just not fit enough to play the style of football they need to be playing at this level, and that's.
I think that's one stat I think I see the other day was Newcastle.
You're looking at stats now, Bridie. You're doing a lot. I never had you done for a stat.
The 3 midfielders they have first, second, and third in running off the ball.
Who's that?
And if you see the way they play,
you looked at stats.
Oh, don't ask.
I'm still getting over the stats.
It's just something that popped up, and I see, and it was like because I watched part of the game. Might have even been match of the day I watched, and they were
match of the day.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they were the top 3 in running off the ball, and and the game they play, the pressing they press, they made the other team make mistakes.
So that just shows you how important it is. And that comes with fitness.
And if you watch some of the kids, the way they sprinted back. It's like, then I watched Liverpool, who were walking back, and then even you go and watch Southampton. I think everyone's so frustrated because you can see them walking or just jogging and not sprinting.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Fair enough.
Football is a simple game, really.
Football is a simple game.
One about get the ball, take
That's
someone,
what we
put it in the back of the net.
Called the podcast. Football is a simple
game. Oh, that'd have been all right. It's too late now, though, isn't it?
Right. Okay. Right. Well, listen. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yep.
Thank you for everyone for listening to The Dressing Room.
You lot have.
Yeah. Tell your friends about us.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah,
tell that friend to tell her. To tell him.
No, I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Right.
I have enjoyed it, and hopefully this is the start of big things to come. We'll get on the road soon as well.
On the road.
Yeah.
Pon the road.
Pon the road, pon the ridder.